It's the Melanin Queenz.
Wait, girl, who's that?
Here's your host, Maria Michelle Lee, and Miss Sister Queen, Kim Ann Wilson, breaking down the misconceptions of how women treat each other and highlighting their royal beauty.
Good afternoon, everyone. Today is Friday. I hope you are having the most amazing day. It's your girl, Maria Michelle Lee, and her queen, Kim Ann Wilson. Welcome to the Melanin Queenz, episode 9 today. Episode 9. Our backgrounds may look slightly different from usual. I am on location in beautiful Niagara Falls this weekend, getting ready to be a super serious cheer mom this weekend as Saraya is getting ready to take on the world and rocking her afro and her bow and doing it well. Kim, how's it going for you on your end?
Oh my, it's beautiful here in Edmonton. It's a little bit cold, but you know what? It's Edmonton, so we can't complain.
Well, you know what, girl? It's a little bit misty out here in Niagara Falls, but it's beautiful. I wish you could have seen the view today, but the way the angle of the camera, the light kept coming in and it kept blacking it out. But I totally wish that you could see the view that I have today in the hotel. But we're still having the mist and drizzly rain. So what you gonna do? It's Canada. Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It's good.
Yes. I'm so excited because today is our episode 9 and the topic is, whose approval are you waiting for? That's a good one, right?
It's that's a really good one. There's tons to talk about there.
Oh my, if stories could tell, right? Well, I guess we're going to tell some today, of course. Kim, why don't you share what's going on with us? What have we been up to? What have we been doing besides being moms and queenpreneurs?
Right, I like that one, queenpreneurs. I'm going to start hashtagging that. So we are actually working on, well, no, we're not working on it. We've done our parts in writing our pieces in our first ebook. Yes, ladies,
right.
You heard right. We've done our first ebook. It's in editing right now. And I'm super excited because it's a meaty, all full of great soul-searching, deep diving pieces.
Inspiration,
like it's
boldness,
it's awesome.
Truth.
It's awesome. And it's about 19 pages long, Queen. So this is a good read.
With a bit of homework in there. So yeah. I mean, it's a short read, but it's a fruitful read. It's like we said, it's an ebook, so it goes with you. And we know that there's a lot going on in your world. So Kim and I designed something that you can digest, but stick with you, not to digest and say, it's okay. There is accountability in that book, so that everything will stick with you.
Exactly. I'm super excited about it because, a lot of the issues that we raised in the ebook are things we ourselves dealt with. So it's not like we're just talking fluff. These are things we've done ourselves. So excited about that. Stay tuned for when that's going to be out, Queens, and it's going to be right shortly here. So
yay! Yeah.
No, that's awesome.
Yes.
That's fun.
Well.
Okay, so whose approval are you waiting for? Me, personally, I woke up to that when I was in college. That's when I realized that I was waiting on someone's approval. And if I wanted to achieve anything that I wanted to achieve, then I need to snap out of that really quickly, And for me, that was my upbringing, my childhood has been very challenging, to say the least. A lot of it, to be honest with you, I don't remember. And apparently, based on a psychologist, she told me that it's something to do with the brain choosing to remove some of those memories because it was so traumatic, right? So I struggle with memory a little bit. And she said that's because of it's like a survival mechanism.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes.
Things, so you don't have to go back there. So that being said, I'll just give you a little snippet. For me, the person's approval I sought after the most out of anybody else in this world was my father's. And if you listen to a previous episode, you'd have understand a little bit about my relationship with my father. And that will explain a little bit in terms of why I was seeking his approval out of anybody else's, right? My mom tells me she loves me, she'll hug me, she'll kiss me, you're doing great and stuff like that. But you know what? Because she's doing all of those things, I know she's already approving of me. But this man over here, he's not doing any of those things. So I need to prove myself to him, right? So I will go above and beyond. I'll do everything in school. I'll come home with what I thought was an excellent grade, and he would, look down at me and tell me to do better next time, kind of thing. I'm like, well, hold on a minute, this was great. But it wasn't until I started college and an epiphanic moment came and woke me up, basically. And from that moment on, I said, you know what? I don't care what anybody else thinks of me. As long as I think I'm badass, I am a badass. Right? And that moment came when I had my exam. I did my exam, and in my eyes, I answered all questions correctly. However, the professor marked one answer wrong. I was curious because that particular answer I knew was my answer to the question was correct. His wrong marking was incorrect. But it took me a good 20 minutes or so looking at that paper, battling with myself whether or not I should go up and have this confrontation with him. Because all that I've ever known, especially when dealing with men at that time, was they're always correct. They're always the head. You never go and question anything that they do, because that's disrespect, right? And we as women, we need to kind of like stay in our lane in an aspect in regards to that. So it took me 20 minutes battling with myself whether or not I should go up and talk to this professor, because he's a man of authority. He's a professor. This is his bread and butter. This is what he does. He's an expert in this particular field. Who am I, a little student with no self-confidence, no self-esteem, nothing, going up to him and telling him that he's wrong? So I eventually did, because for me, studying was very, very important, and it was how I escaped, right? Studying and being in my books was how I escaped. So I went to him and I said, sir, I think maybe you need to just have a look at this question. Maybe just relook at it, because I believe the answer I wrote down for this particular question was correct. And he said, I was really blown away by his response and how he responded, that I think I stood there for a good minute looking at him like, who are you? Like, what's wrong with you? Because when I said that to him, he didn't even look at me. He just said, okay. And side noted, just, on the side of the desk, just kind of cross out the incorrect mark and give me my 100%. Just like that. It took less than 3 seconds for him to do that. And that woke me up, because it took me 20 minutes battling with myself to stand up to something that I believed in and standing up for myself. So when I did that, I realized, you know what? The only way that I'm going to achieve anything that I wanted to achieve is for me to believe in myself and for me to open this thing on my face called my mouth.
Yes.
Otherwise, I am going to be taken advantage of. So from that day on, I did not care one bit about my father's approval. I didn't care one bit about what he had to say to me or about me, because his opinion or his view on me have no effect on me or how I live my life. That's up to me.
Yes. Wow, Kim, that's really deep, and thank you so much for sharing that. For me, and it's amazing that you had that breakthrough in your college years. For me, my need for approval went way past that, and if it wasn't my mother's approval, then, because there was no father figure in my mind, but I caught on very early in my life that my mother is my mother and my father. So I didn't have the things like what some of my friends or maybe even my sister has experienced of wanting to know who my father was. That part I got straight. I understood it real quick, you know. Yeah, I understood the logic of, you know, if you're not around, it's because you don't want to be around. So I didn't live to say, if I had a dad, this is what I would say, this is how I'm going to live, this is how I'm going to show him what he's missed out on. No, I didn't have that. However, I sought the approvals of others to fit in, to make sure I was doing something right. And so for me, it went through different phases, right? So I learned completely differently. I am not a high left-brained person. I'm not. I am completely, at least 85% of me is an operating creative. I am highly right-brained. Right? So the things that I should be doing to fit into society's standards, I just couldn't, because I didn't learn that way. Math and science were not my strong points, but definitely I could talk you under the table, okay? Whereas I'd sometimes shock my elementary teachers. I'd sometimes shock my teachers throughout school, because what is this little girl saying? Like, how does she know to tune into that? But then she struggles with math. So my thing was approval to fit into society. Therefore, if, you know, if my mom wasn't pleased with something, yes, it would bother me, and I would try my best to win her over. Then there were, you know, friends who came out to be nurses and accountants, and, you know, so I wanted to be on their level, but then, you know, I would do certain things so that I could seek their approval to be on their level. Do you understand where I'm coming from? And then I had mentors who were kind of like big sisters to me, right? However, you know, there again, I would play small. I would shrink myself down so that I could be cared for or seek their approval, but in a certain way. But it wasn't until not too long ago I got sick and tired of being sick and tired of seeking approval from the people in the long run that really don't matter. And so I'm going to get a little deep from you here. For one, I love my husband till death do us part. But I don't seek his approval. You understand? I do not seek his approval. I have always been Maria before he came along, and I will be Maria when Jesus calls me home. You understand what I'm trying to say? So I don't seek approval from my husband, because if I were to wait we are one, but we are two different people. Do you understand? And a lot of women put the ring on their finger thinking that they've arrived now because they are Mrs. So-and-so with the 2 or 3 carat diamond on their finger. That's not it. That's not what your entire life is for. If you're waiting to seek your husband's approval from all that you're doing, right? The house, the home, the baby, the putting the house together, and then you're going to turn 50 and you're going to be like, what the frig was all of this for? What have I done for myself? So no, I like I said, my husband and I, we are best friends and we're business partners, right? We're business partners, we're best friends, we're lovers, we're all of that stuff. But the one thing he is not my God. Amen. So I cannot be living to seek his approval. You understand? And the other thing is, I stopped seeking approval from those who I felt were better than me, so I could be a part of that club. I don't care anymore. I live for myself. I live for those who are needing of me. Like I said, I'm a mom. I do the best that I can to do my mother roles. I don't seek approval from, what do you call it? The PTA club. I'm not a PTA mom. I'm not a soccer mom. I'm not any of those things where I have to come and approve. I come and seek your approval to be a part. So I stopped doing all those things. I probably stopped seeking approval from other people after each child I had, because I wasn't raising my children the way people thought I should raise my children. So every child I got, I kept cutting the string. And then I'm just being real here, Kim. Shit hit the fan about between 2018 and 2019, the start of 2019, where I just said, you know what, forget it. I am so done. You know, even I had this little part of people pleaser left in me. I had this little tiny part left. And when that showed up and was front row and real, that's when I said, all right, Maria Michelle Lee, you're about to step into a new kingdom here. So whatever was that little last part that you had to people please, make yourself small to try to keep everything A-okay, has now closed. It's finished. It's done. So that's the approvals that I went through, trying to fit into society, trying to be at one level with, friends and family. I shut the door on it. Mm-hmm.
No, that's good for you, Maria. It's funny because just now, before we started this recording, I run the mommy meetups here.
Yes.
Here, and we just met and we talked about the struggles that we're facing as moms.
Yeah.
And each person kind of shared like a tip to help us or help the other woman or whatever. And it was funny because one woman raised that exact same point. She said, you know what? It wasn't until I have my daughter that I realized some of the things that I'm doing, I don't want her to start doing. So I've had to look. She's been my mirror. I was like, that is so true, because she said she herself, she would really talk bad about herself. She would really flip off the handle at any given moment in time. Her emotions were all out of whack. And she said, I don't want my daughter to be like that. So I've had to look within myself and do a lot of self-work. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that is so good of you, because you are so right in that. There's a lot of things that I do not want my daughter to do. I don't want her to go through that mentality of thinking about herself and wanting to see herself in this person or that person, or try and be like this person or that person. So then you try and do certain things that's going to be on their good page, right?
Yeah.
Having kids, you said it perfectly. Having kids just make you more aware of the things you're doing that's damaging your own self. And you said it perfectly when with each child, you did better, right?
Yes. Well, you know what, Kim? Here's the real deal. I am the only one. How I looked at it, how I started to look at it was like this. I am born alone, and I'm gonna die alone, right? When you're born, people are like, oh my gosh, what a beautiful baby. People come around, blah, 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 right? But there ain't nobody else unless you're a twin coming through the canal. And even at that point, the analogy is, even at that point, each twin comes through the canal by themselves. You go down, I go down. You understand what I'm trying to say, right? So when you die, you're dying by yourself. There's no one around you. And I'm not talking about in a mass, there's no one around you. And so when you spend your time becoming a slave to somebody else, and you're never going to get that approval or that grace anyway, or when they turn around and they pull the rug from underneath you, everything you built for that person. And you think that you're doing it for yourself, but you're not doing them for yourself, right?
Nope.
And you gotta get into this place. You gotta get into this place with yourself where it's like, I don't give two craps about what other people think. And I'll give you a quick example. I am now teaching my daughter. Yes, it's important for my sons as well. But I'm right now teaching my daughter that she has a voice, and that voice needs to be heard in all platforms, but it needs to be heard in politics. Some people are like, politics and religion, we don't touch that. I say, Saraya, touch all over it. Touch all over it, because if not, you're going to stand for nothing. Stand for something or stand for nothing. You understand? She needs to know how money works. She needs to know about the ladies that stood up in caucus the other day and turned their back on our prime minister. She needs to be aware of that. There was a protest happening at her school. Yes, Saraya, go and protest. You understand what I'm trying to say? Now, I know some parents, don't be causing no trouble. Why are you sending your daughter out there to start that kind of business? Why? Well, when? You know what I'm saying? Well, when? Dwayne and I are very clear. We try the traditional way of bringing up kids and let them do the path. You know, go to university, do this, do that. That's fine and all, right? But for us, I'm like, you go the path where your strong suit is. So if Rashawn wants to go just to expand his talent in art, go the way that you need to go so that talent. We raised our children or based their career goals based on the talents that they enjoy. I don't believe in modern day slavery, but that's for another day talk.
No, good on you, Mama, for doing that. Honestly, good on you for doing that. You know, and you know, whose approval are you waiting on, Queenz? You know, take a hard look at yourself right now. What is it that you're doing you're displeased with? You're not happy doing it. You're just doing it just because this one person will look at you differently. Take a look at that.
And does it matter, Kim? Like if you sit long enough with yourself, if you're going to bed, Queens, listen, if you're going to bed worrying about what this person thinks of you, if you're getting up and they're the first thing on your mind and it's grieving you, I don't care if it's your husband, your best friend, your sister, your brother, your so-called cousin, your grandmother, it's not worth it. No. It's not worth it. And you know what? You're getting yourself so upset so that you can win a yes from these people. Whereas your blessing is in the no. No, they're not going to accept you 110%. No, they're not going to support you. Yes, they're going to talk about you. Yes, they're going to let you down. Yes, they're going to make fun of you when you're not looking. Yes, they are. But no, they will not stand for you. But you have the power to stand for yourself. And the minute you accept that no, and know that you can do bad all by yourself in this journey, you will be okay. You will be more than okay.
Oh yeah.
That's me.
Oh yeah. Because at the end of the day, you queens, you have to recognize that you are enough for yourself. You don't need something external to give you an approval or to give you permission to go ahead and do what you were brought here on this earth to do in the first place.
Yes.
You being here alone is your approval, is your permission to go and do what you need to do. So you seeking approval from somebody outside of that is you not having enough belief and faith in yourself and in what you have, what you're carrying. So I give you a challenge. I'm giving you a challenge. Right? Try it out for 1 week. Try it out for 1 week where instead of going to this one person because you know what, if I do that, it will get me here and they'll think of me this way and they'll, you know, instead of doing all of that for 1 week, Queens, 1 week, 7 days, just try going back to yourself. just go back to you. You're looking for that permission. You're looking for that yes for the next step. Just sit still for a minute for that week and just check in with yourself and listen to what your inner person is telling you and go with that. Try it for 1 week. And then please come back and let us know how you feel. What happened? What came through for that?
Yes. And know this. I'm also going to add to this. Sometimes some bridges are meant to be burnt.
Amen.
You know, we hold on, we hold on to other people, hoping and wishing and praying for their approval. And sometimes it needs to be a one and done relationship. And I was looking down at my phone as Kim was speaking, and I wanted to share this post that I wrote a few days ago, about a week ago. And it says, some bridges had to burn so you could learn, grow, and work through it and never go back. And so this is what I said. We're not always in control of how some relationship ends. Sometimes we don't even see it coming. When given the opportunity to sit, process, and look well within you, you will see that although it's a horrible feeling right now, but it had to happen. There might have been something or someone that was keeping you from growing. Sometimes when we sit in this thing called seeking approval and you don't even want to admit it to yourself, you are stopping yourself from growing. Or there's a habit that had to break. In life, we really need to understand that certain things and people are not meant to be a part of our next journey. And the more we ignore the signs, something hard and fast will ignite the fire and burn that bridge down. Not to hurt you, but to make it very clear that the bridge you once traveled is no longer available to you.
Sila.
You have to be able to stand on your own, and you're only stealing from yourself, you're trying to win over somebody else. They're not even noticing you. Did you know that? They're actually sitting by the wayside waiting for you to fail. They're not noticing you the way that you deserve to shine. They're not. And that is the honest truth.
It's true. It's true. So with that being said, Queenz, a lot of what we just spoke about in seeking, somebody else's approval, we deal with this in the ebook that we just wrote. It's every single chapter, we take another nick at it. So when you finish this ebook, Queenz, I promise you will be having a clearer vision on your purpose, having a clearer vision on who you are and how you can contribute to society, to the community, to yourself even. So I'm super excited. Like, now that we just spoke about that, Maria, I'm like, oh my gosh, our ebook is like 100% on point in getting over this, right? And no, go ahead.
Well, I was just thinking, like, I don't know, Kim, like, we're almost there. We just have some final tweaking to do, but I wonder if we can pump in a little more because, right? Like, I don't know. We will talk after the show.
There you go. So there's a little, side bit that's off here later, Queenz. So, check maybe next episode we may share with you what went down there.
Yeah.
But, so just wanted to just highlight that, Queenz. Really, really pay attention to who you're looking up to and having on a pedestal, because you don't You don't need to. You have everything you need. You already have it. You just need to be still for a minute or a week or two or a month, whatever that looks like for you, and just let that come out. And you'll see that, everything that you're looking for in somebody else, you already had it. You just need to harness it, tweak it, right? Maybe sharpen it a little bit, but it's there.
Kim, I want to add a second challenge to your challenge. That person or people that you're seeking approval from, take a moment, as Kim said, of stepping back, but try not to text them or call them for 5 days.
Yeah. For that
for
week.
5 days, for that week. So while you're going through the steps that Kim already told you, try not to contact them. Unfollow them if they're on your social media for 5 days. Block their number for 5 days. Do not text. Don't watch what they're doing for 5 days and see how you feel. Take the pattern, look at the patterns of your sleep patterns. Are you sleeping better? Are you waking up better? Now, the first couple of days, you're gonna feel like, oh, what did I do wrong, you know? But if you're feeling better, I'm gonna ask you to add on an extra day for how long you're feeling, for how much better you're feeling, and keep doing it. You might get 10 days out of it. You might get 15 days. And then when you log back on, they'll be like, girl, where you been? Like, what's up? Like, are you ignoring me or something? Or, you know, and I will say this, do not tell them that you're taking a hiatus, because that is inadvertently saying you're asking for their permission.
Approval.
Their permission to take a break from them. They don't need to know. The right hand doesn't need to know what the left hand is doing, you know.
Amen to that.
Just saying.
No, I love it, Queens. And we're going to do this up even nice and so you can follow that way and can track it.
Yeah.
But you need to get started on this ASAP if you do want to see a difference in your life. If you do want to be free from that mental, physical, emotional bondage, you know, tied to somebody else's approval. Just that you give them so much power by doing that. So much power over you, you don't even realize it. So
it's a soul tie, Kim. It's a soul tie.
Yeah. So much power. You need to take your power back, Queen. You're a queen. You got your crown. Own it. Walk with your power. You can't be giving your power to somebody else. You're giving them your crown too. Take it back.
Hey, I work hard for my crown. I'm
right?
not giving it back.
I know. And I like wearing my crown, so I'm not giving it to somebody else. I'm going to keep it on my head. Anyway,
yes, exactly.
So that's that, Queens. Our next episode, oh my gosh, I'm super, super excited about our next episode. So our next episode is with the amazing, beautiful, talented, very outspoken, the owner and founder of Take Me Away Essentials, Renee Thomas. That's our next episode, episode 10, and we'll be speaking on topic, Maria.
Oh, we'll be talking about, sorry, because I was like, I'm like, dang, her crown looks so luscious on her. Sorry, I drifted off. I'm like, oh yes, the crown. Anyways, we'll be talking about women in business, you know, wearing the many hats that we wear as moms, as entrepreneurs, and what we have to do to juggle things around. So join us for that. My goodness, Renee has a lot to say. And, you know, she has a lot to say.
Yes, she does.
That's all.
That's all we saying.
Yeah. Yeah. That's all we're saying.
Next episode 10 is women entrepreneurs and our struggles. And like Maria just said, you'll hear from Renee as she share, you know, her own struggles, and you know, we all share our own struggles, and maybe you can find help in that and seeing how we've overcome and how we've dealt with some of the struggles that you may have been facing. So that being said, we wanted to do a huge shout out, congrats, amazing milestone, step and change for Maria. She has done great changes to her branding. So I'll let her talk about that. I'm so super proud of my queen, super proud of her.
Kim is only super proud of me because I am so not techie savvy like her. And so she, every time I have to do something that's techie, I call her and I start freaking out. I'm like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. So anyways, but I'm so happy and grateful to tell you that everywhere you see, you will start seeing Maria Michelle Lee as a brand. So I was caught in between there of Maria Michelle Lee and Fantabulously Me, which was my original business name. But then the best way to brand yourself is by name. I really love my name. So now if you want to send me an email, you can email me at inspired@mariamichellelee.com. My Instagram is Maria Michelle Lee. My Facebook is Inspired by Maria Michelle Lee. And you can check out my website at www.mariamichellelee.com. gmail.com. Isn't that amazing? I'm also on LinkedIn by the same. Yeah.
Look at that. Look at that. Same across the board. Consistency. It's beautiful. Like I said, I'm super proud of this queen. Like, you won't even believe. And, you know, on the back of that, Maria, I'm doing the same, Queenz. I've been
Yes, you should. You put me through so much torture. You should.
I know. She knows I've been hiding away from this. She's been on my back since like 2 years now on getting a website. And I'm like, nope, I'm not getting a website because I do too much. I wouldn't know where to begin and how to formulate, whatever. So I'm working on my website, Queenz, and it's obviously kimandwilson.com, but it's not up yet, so don't go check it out right now. But I'm working on it, just giving you an update as to what we've been doing, what we are doing, and as always, as usual, you can find us on Instagram and Facebook as Melanin Queenz. Please do share, like, comment, and let us know how it's going. If there's a topic you'd like us to discuss and share our inputs on, please do email us at themelaninqueens@gmail.com, and we will be sure to hit you up and get back with you on that. I wanted to close out this episode, Maria, being that the episode is called Whose Approval Are You Waiting For? I wanted you to close this. This is right up your alley. This is your expertise. Yeah. This is what you do with affirmations on, being enough. Being enough as you are. You don't need nobody else's approval. So, if you can close us out with some affirmations, Queenz, as she's saying them, you repeat them for yourself. But you need to save the episode, save it so you can, take this bit and use it as your affirmations, daily affirmations. It is key, it is vital, it's very important, and it will help you. It will help you become the boldest you could even ever imagine to be. So,
Yes. Well, Kim, thanks again for that opportunity. Queenz, I just want to let you know that you are more than enough. And, I will change it into I am so that you can say I am. I am more than enough. I am beautiful, not just by my exterior, but my inside that exudes from the outside. I am more than willing to stand alone. I am strong. I am skilled in my mind. I can see what is before me. I no longer need an entourage to walk in the room. I hold my head up high because I believe enough in myself that what I'm thinking, what I'm going through, the changes that I will face, I will raise my head up high and I will adjust my crown and I will walk to go and meet the bridegroom of anything that I desire. I know that if I feel good on the inside, I know that if I feel good on the inside, I will expel goodness from the outside. I no longer need to gossip and minimize and make myself feel small because I need to win over other people. I am good being quiet. I am good speaking life. I am good living life. I am authentic. I am true. I stand tall in my truth. I am the most beautiful creation made. I am unapologetically me, and I will no longer make myself be anything else than just that. Me.
Love it. Thank you. So with that, Queenz, catch us next time. Bye.
Bye.
We're all royalty. Fix another queen's crown. And when you do it in private. Until next time, girls.